guys, welcome to another episode of UGUE Savage Kitchen. Guys, definitely thank you so much for all the support. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. I saw all the comments and everything that you guys still want me to continue to do these, which is great because, I mean, I'm going to cook either way. I love cooking. I'm really passionate about it. It's a lot of fun. I just love everything about it. But to be able to film it, share it with you guys, and you guys have fun with it and enjoy it, even if you don't like cooking, it's been really, really awesome. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep freaking doing it because it's great. It's a lot of fun. Tonight I got a banger for you. Man. This recipe, for a recipe that I've never really tried before and didn't really know if it was going to work, man, so good. So I'm thinking about it in my head right now. My mouth's watering. I'm getting all excited. I want some, but there's no more. I'm kind of sad about that. But I get to make it again because I know how to make it. It's great. But the problem with pot roast, there's so many ways to kind of mess it up, okay? And I've made so many over the years, and I quite frankly have not been able to nail it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I even made a recipe on this channel before of a pot roast, which was good. And it was great. It was delicious, but it just didn't hit the mark for me. Considering I grew up with pot roast. Grew up in the South, and pot roast is like one of the main things you grow up with in terms of comfort food in the home, pot roast. And I just never been able to nail it, get that awesome pot roast flavor and just amazingness. Well, I tried a recipe from Cafe Delites, which is a website, and they also have a YouTube channel, by the way. I didn't know this, and I found it, and it's awesome. I'm really excited about that. Anyway, Cafe Delites, it's where I found the chicken parmesan recipe, which I messed around with, but I found a lot in the balsamic chicken recipe and a few others that I've tried on this channel. Typically, I do not mess with those recipes because they're just that interesting and that delicious, and sometimes I just like to try recipes that I find online, find on YouTube, etc., to see what I think about them and how they are, which I think is really, really fun. But this is a Cafe Delites recipe for pot roast, and it has a very Italian sort of twist on it, which is cool. It's like a balsamic tender pot roast, I think is what she called it. But it's very, very, just rich with, Italian style flavors, which I really enjoy. But I've screwed up so many pot roasts. I've made them too mushy, too dry, no flavor at all, and everything in between. The whole spectrum of just not good. And very few have just been good enough to just everyone enjoy. But yeah, this is good. But in my head, I know it's just not quite right. But that all changes, guys, with this recipe. This is the absolute best pot roast I have ever made, hands down. And I'm very proud of myself for not screwing it up. It's really, really good, guys. Give this recipe a try. Pot roast is just one of those great recipes, if you're into beef anyway. It's just one of the easiest ways to make a huge meal for a lot of people and not hurt your wallet. And it's something that can be done reasonably simply if you have the right tools and patience and understand some of the techniques involved with just making pot roast properly. Okay? And I've had a lot of experience screwing them up, like I said, but everything worked perfectly, guys. So I'm going to show you how to make a banging awesome pot roast, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. So basic pot roast, like your root vegetables and your meat. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. This is not where things get kind of strange, at least for me anyway, because I haven't made a ton of different types of pot roast. But basically, you just want to start with your vegetables. I used celery, carrots, potatoes, onions, your standard stuff. Just basically start with a stalk of celery, clean it, chop it in about 2-inch pieces. I didn't really worry too much about it. I kept everything fairly rustic, but you want to keep everything kind of similar size so it all cooks evenly. And as you could see, I'm just throwing everything into a bowl since it's all going into the slow cooker together, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just getting everything ready, and I had already washed my potatoes, which I used whole baby golden potatoes. You can use whatever you like. You can even use the larger potatoes and cut them into chunks, basically. If you find that those potatoes are too large, the baby potatoes are too large, you can cut them in half as well. It's really up to you. That's kind of the beauty of pot roast, is you sort of can do whatever. It's sort of haphazard. You can add all kinds of stuff. Now I used organic carrots, so I just cut the tops off. You can tail them as well. I just left it because it wasn't too bad. You can also leave the skins on if you want. Just note that skins will add a bit of bitterness to your dish. I went ahead and washed and peeled mine, and again, just about 2-inch sections. Just try to keep them as even as possible. Just don't go overboard, don't go crazy, don't worry too much about it. Just basically the same size. Now I'm using about just under 3 pound chuck roast is what I'm using. A lot of different roasts you can use for this. I use chuck. Got one that was fairly well marbled. This particular recipe calls for 4. I used just under 3. So you just kind of have to adjust your cooking time accordingly. First things first, of course, you want to make sure you thoroughly season with salt and pepper on all sides. You see me mopping up all the extra onto the sides. Just make sure you cover it. I kept my grain fairly coarse. If you have coarse crystal salt and coarse pepper, ideal. I just use my little machines there and thoroughly coat it. Now you want to start with a nice hot pan. By the way, these Ninja Foodie pans, freaking awesome. Literally the best sear I've ever gotten. Now make sure you sear your beef and make sure it's also room temp or pretty close to it before you start cooking. Always make sure your beef is pretty close to room temperature before you start cooking. Do not put your beef cold into a pan. It will screw up. It just won't work. Don't start cooking. It just be a whole mess. Trust me, I've done it. It sucks. But see here, all that beautiful crust color. Color means flavor. No color, no flavor. You can't simply brown it. If you're browning it, that means your pan isn't hot enough, your oil isn't hot enough, and you're essentially boiling your beef. So make sure you have it hot. I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use whatever kind of high heat oil you want. You can use olive oil if you want as well. Just be very careful. Regular olive oil will burn fairly easy. It will smoke up as well. I really like the grapeseed oil, like the flavor of the grapeseed oil, and I love the forgiveness in the oil as well. And as you can see here, I'm sort of mashing it up against the pan as well. Make sure I'm thoroughly searing all sides of the beef, just using my tongs. That's one cool thing about this pan, is you can use metal utensils in it. You won't damage it, which is awesome, and it's completely non-stick. Once you do that, just throw your beef into your slow cooker. Now I'm using slow cooker liners. A lot of people don't like them because they're plastic. I get that. I'm giving you permission not to use those if you don't want to. I'm just choosing, it's personal choice for cleanup purposes. Now, what I did was I threw at least 5 cloves of crushed garlic into there, and then I'm tossing all my vegetables over the beef just like that. Already looking amazingly scrumptious, so delicious. Now, really interesting seasoning here. This is where things get a little different. You're going to start with brown sugar, which is pretty interesting. I'm not really put brown sugar in a pot roast, but definitely adds depth. I used dark brown sugar. You can use light, doesn't really matter. Some dried thyme on top of that. Then some Dijon mustard, another weird one. I'm just using regular old Dijon mustard, nothing crazy here. I kind of want to experiment and use different types of Dijon, but this is just regular old Dijon. Balsamic vinegar. I'm using aged oak barrel imported balsamic. Beef bouillon. I'm just using a powder and from a packet. You can use cubes as well. Just make sure you crush them. Then you're going to put your beef broth, and you see me here putting flour into my beef broth. This is a thickening agent to help you thicken up a little bit of your sauce. Just give it a nice stir. Doesn't need to be completely incorporated. All the lumps will cook out, so don't worry about that. Just pour that all over the top of that, just like that. And then you're going to close the top. Throw that sucker on low and let it ride. If you want, you can see me here adding a little extra salt and pepper on top just for good measure, but you don't have to do that. Again, low and slow. So I threw it on low temp, put the lid on, 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours minimum. And it's looking gorgeous. And boom, here we go. So delicious. It's so good. Look at that. Bubbly, scrumdiddlyumptious. This just cooked perfectly. Now, I did mine for about 6 hours based on the size of the roast. Just worked for me. Could have maybe stood another hour at least. I just didn't want my vegetables to turn to mush, so I just played it a little bit safe. But look how tender that beef is. It wants to just shred apart while I'm trying to lift it out. It is so tender and juicy. And then you're left with this beautiful jus. You can leave it like that, just as so, or you could throw it in a pot, put a thickening agent in there like cornstarch, rice starch, potato starch, any kind of starch, and thicken that up into a gravy if you like. But look at that, it just shreds. Oh, so juicy. Make sure you do let it sit, by the way. But it is so tender, so juicy. Not too tender. Perfection. I just topped that bad boy up with some fresh chopped parsley goodness. And that is absolutely the most gorgeous, beautiful plate of pot roasted veggies that I've ever made in my life. And it is perfection. I'm so proud of this, guys. I'm absolutely so proud of this dish. Perfection. Perfection. Let me tell you something, guys. It looks beautiful, but it is absolutely delicious. I don't even like carrots, guys. I'm not a fan. These carrots were freaking amazing. Amazing. And the beef, again, just melts away. Just enough bite and just melts. You see me here just giving Kate a try. I know you mentioned you guys wanted to see other people try it. I'm letting Kate try it and see what she thinks. And she approves, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, you gotta make this recipe, guys. It's so simple, it works. Just follow these guidelines, make sure you do sear that beef, and just let it ride. Let it ride. You will not be disappointed. Boom, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. I certainly enjoyed eating it, guys. Give this recipe a try for sure if you enjoy cooking, or you just want to try cooking. This is a good one to cut your teeth on, that's for sure, and always a crowd pleaser for sure. Tons of stuff coming down on this channel, guys. We are ramping up on things we're going to be doing on this channel as well as the main channel, so we're trying to increase the content. A lot of things happening. Lots of things happening, guys, over the next few months. Wow. Overwhelmingly so. And I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. If you've seen all the videos on the main channel, you know that my girlfriend Kate has already moved down. She is with us now, and we are also in the process of moving away from Florida and just changing things completely. And the reason for that, of course, is just more opportunity to expand and do more things with the channels and do more content and just everything else. So a lot goes into that. Tough decision, that's for sure, because obviously where we are now, of course, I mean, gave us a lot. It brought us to where we are today, which is great, but comes a time where you just got to make decisions and do things and change things and try to expand, because we want to bring you guys even better experiences going forward, and continue to grow and continue to get better and continue to do new things, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So man, it's been a wild ride so far, man. I can't even wrap my head around the fact that I even do this now for a living, let alone what's going to happen now in the future. It's been just crazy. And thank you guys so much for supporting us all these years. If you're brand new, thank you so much for joining us, choosing to take this journey with us. There's so much behind our content in terms of what we try to do for you guys. And by the way, tons of new stuff, tons of new ideas in terms of how we can better interact with you guys. Definitely heard a lot of feedback from you guys, which is awesome. And we definitely want to do a lot more this year in terms of showing our appreciation for you guys. And there's a lot of things coming down into our lives that is allowing us the opportunity to be able to do that for you guys, which I'm excited about. Now, I don't want to go too far into that, give too much away, but lots and lots and lots coming. Got tons of ideas. etc. So just stay tuned, stay with us, stick with us, and we'll let you know when we let you know. Which is really hard, by the way. I am not a person that does well with gift giving. Okay, I cannot keep those secrets. Okay, I get a lot of anxiety and I just get really excited and I just want to tell. And it's really hard not to talk about those things because it's awesome and it's gonna be a lot of fun and yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, guys. Anyway, comment, like, subscribe, of course. Comment below. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if you want to see more of these, of course, as always. And check out our merchandise, UGUEbrothers.com. Tons of stuff on there. I know there wasn't for a while, but now there is. There's tons of cool stuff. Thanks to Kate. She did a lot of those designs, which is amazing. Well, all the designs, actually, which is awesome. So that's helped us out a lot. Really, really cool stuff. You'll be seeing that more in the videos as well. We've gotten a ton of that stuff coming in. And got a lot of stuff that we're thinking about for you guys as well. Just just a little hint, and yeah, still more stuff to design, still more stuff to put out. So tons of new stuff coming as well on that. So UGUEbrothers.com. We also have Teespring on our main channel in the store section. You can check that out as well. And yeah, talking too much. Anyway, till next time, guys. Stay strong, stay blessed, stay savage, guys. Peace out.